Alright, so as you can tell by the title, I have some news for you all which won't be a surprise to many of you out there. I recently, just over 2 weeks ago, got officially diagnosed with ADHD. And this has been a long time coming. Side note, I know it's been like nearly 2 months since my last YouTube video upload, but the last 2 months have been something, and this video right here I really want to make. I've got many things to talk about. Yeah, it's kind of my journey to where I am today with this official diagnosis. Before I even get into this video or into any of the details and whatnot, I know that recently, especially on TikTok, ADHD has become some sort of trend, which to me is quite sickening, to be honest. I never ever wanted to self-diagnose, even when all the people around me were telling me something. I didn't want that, because at the end of the day, it's not all fun and games. A lot of people see ADHD and think, oh, you're bubbly all over the place, it's like a, you know, but there is such a different side to it, and it's been causing me issues all my life. So yeah, I am officially diagnosed from a doctor, from therapists, and this is sort of the journey of how I got there, a bit about it, and yeah, just a video about it. This video also is probably going to be all over the place, not blaming my ADHD for this one, just because it's been a long time coming. There's so many different clips and so many different things I want to talk about. So now that I've officially got the diagnosis, a lot of it I have now been thinking way back and trying to think of when I first showed signs, when did I first realise, and I'm starting just to really just go back on all my childhood. So as you can see from my videos, I was always just a little bit different. I was bubbly, energised, chaotic, all over the place, but that was always just like, that was me. It was always just, that's Sophie, that's the way Sophie is. Which, by the way, is 100% still me. Like, I'm still chaotic, all over the place, crazy, like this is my personality, but it was the problem of actually like switching that off after a while. I was often getting in trouble at school and stuff, but it was always just me. That's all it was put towards. I was a tomboy, I was sporty, it was just me. And throughout all my childhood and teenager years, I never saw a problem with it. I didn't feel like I had a problem with any of it. I was loving my life. And then it got to the stage around my early 20s a few years ago where I was like, this isn't really stopping. I'm noticing it a lot more. My friends have matured. I've kind of, I am mature, but like at the same time, like I noticed that something was a bit different and I couldn't turn it off sometimes. I was often in situations where my emotions didn't fit. I was emotional, I was exhausted, and I couldn't ever turn it off. And that was definitely one of the biggest factors. I was getting to the point where I was physically, emotionally exhausted. And this is one of the worst things about this, is that I genuinely couldn't turn anything off in my brain. I would have sleepless nights, I'll be up till 4 AM and my brain would be like it was at 4 PM. And the reason why I got to this point now is that I could just never relax. Like, people at the end of the day would be like, go and wind down for the day and go spend some alone time, and I just couldn't switch it off. I could lay in my bed, but my mind wouldn't be laying in my bed. Alone time means my 20 other thoughts of things I want to do and I want to get up and go. I was always confused, because like if I was happy, I would be really happy, or like something would little happen and I'll just cry, and I thought, oh, do you know what, you know, I'm probably just going, it's like my time of the month or something like that. But it was all the time, and a massive struggle was trying to get me to do anything that I was bored of. Like, if I was bored of it, I was not going to do it, especially through school and trying to do schoolwork or homework. Like, I was never going to do that. And still to this day, if I find anything that I'm not interested in, it's a huge challenge. Basic everyday tasks that people find really easy, I was struggling with. Even if it was just like, my mum was like, can you empty the dishwasher? I would be in so much pain with how bored I would be from it. It would just sit there in the back of my mind like, you need to empty the dishwasher, and I just would never do it. I would empty a few cups and then go off to something else, or I would just try and do some washing and then I forget about the washing, emptying bins. Like, the basic boring tasks that you just get on with, I couldn't get on with. Now that just seems like I'm being lazy or excuses, but I don't know how to explain what that feels like in my brain without making it sound weird. Just get on with it. Literally, I could not. It would crumble inside my head. I would put it off, I would struggle whilst doing it, boredom would hit, or the distractions would hit. Two things that I really struggled with was instructions. Like, if anyone gave me instructions, I would need them repeated back to me like 5 times, and I always thought, how dumb am I? Like, a main big thing of this was always I thought I was the dumb one. And the second thing would be like me trying to hold back from interrupting people, because I know my thoughts would go so quickly to the next one that I had to get it in within the next 10 seconds, or else I was going to forget about it. So that was like a huge one that I really struggled with. And also changing the subject of things. Like, I would just go from one thing to the other, interrupt someone, and then suddenly start talking about ducks when I was talking about petrol the next time. The word of today is condensed milk. That's 2 words. Condensed milk. Another one that you guys would definitely recognise was my hyperfixation on stuff. You could see it through my videos, you could see it in my Harry Potter. I never sort of loved anything normally. I would absolutely go all in and just fully go for it. I wouldn't just love something, I would make a whole room dedicated to it. I wouldn't just like the colour green, I would make sure that I get everything in the colour green. I would start new hobbies, you know. I've got a drum set over there which I spent £200 on and used it a few times. I went to the shop the other day and I purchased like £30 worth of arts and crafts stuff because now I want to be a painter. Even day-to-day life, I would just be like, yo, I'm gonna do that one thing, and I would forget to do everything else around me. People would be like, have you eaten, have you drunk? No, I've been painting my wardrobe. So it was hyperfixating throughout the day on different things, even on just small simple tasks, and forgetting everything else around me. And that happens in little bits of, like, I've noticed now that if I go and get a drink, I would forget everything else around me because I'm hyperfixating on getting a drink. It was like I could only think of one thing at a time, but at the same time I had 20 thoughts, so I couldn't focus on that one thing, and that one thing would mess up because I want to do everything else around. And there was days where I sat in bed all day not doing anything, but my brain wanted to do absolutely anything. Sorry, I was a bit of a sidetrack, but that is kind of like the issues I had with every day and my hyperfixations and stuff. This would also go into like relationships and friendships. A lot of my relationships ended very soon because I would just be like, ah, and then just be like, nah. Same with my friendships. I never really had, recently I have had like real close friends which I haven't got bored of, but before I would always just get bored of people very, very quickly. Another thing was I play football. I play football 4 times a week. It's a huge part of my life, and it got to the point of where I couldn't concentrate on anything that my players were saying, my coach was saying. They would say all the instructions and then they'll be like, did you listen? And I'll just be like, what? If there was timings, and I just couldn't. It was really messing me up, and I thought, you know what, I'm 25 and this shouldn't be some issues. Like, this can happen here and there, but when it happens all the time, I was worrying. I have a video here of where I was kind of just having an emotional breakdown because I couldn't do anything. I wasn't sad. I've got lots of things to do, like lots and lots of things I could be doing. I tidied my room this morning and that felt really good, but I'm so bored, but I'm not bored, and it's confusing my head a lot. I need to go make some lunch, I need to do lots of things. I've got about 5 things I could be doing, and instead of doing any of them, I'm sat here really hungry and I feel like I'm kind of like trapped. A lot of the time I was thinking, am I depressed? Have I got anxiety? And like I maybe had like little drips and stuff, and that's all linked to ADHD in a way, but I knew there was something way more because I was always just genuinely happy, but just all over the place. I think that's the best way of explaining it. So yeah, with all that in place, me knowing something was up, my friends knowing something was up, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go and try and get diagnosed. So I went to my GP. Now this is for the people out there who want to know how I did it, because I know there's a massive waiting list at the moment. So I went to my GP, and I kind of went there with like thinking I was sort of like, I had my anxiety and stuff, and that I sort of heard about ADHD, and I didn't know if it was actually like a thing or something, and I didn't really want to self-diagnose. Like I was so scared to do that. They then got me loads of forms to fill in, and I had to get my like sister to fill in, a friend to fill in, and it was all these things of like school reports and just everyday sort of social cues and just like fidgeting and stuff. So they then said that they could put me on a waiting list. The waiting list was for about 2 years in my local area. So then I found a website called The Right to Choose, which you could go to. I'll put it on screen here. And so I went there, and their waiting list was 6 months. So I then went through them, and then this video here. Alright, so I got a call today from an unknown number, and I ignored it because I'm me. After I got the call, I then got an email from Psychiatrist UK, which is the people I'm with, and they were like, yo, phone us back, we can get you an appointment in. So I was like, okay, this is really happening. Called them back, and he was like, we got one in a month, or we got one this Friday. So impulsively, which luckily I was impulsively, because otherwise I normally would have been like, delay it a month. I was like, Friday, yeah, get this out of the bloody way. And now it's all just consumed my head way too much. I ended the call, and honestly I just got super emotional. Like, I'm so nervous but so excited at the same time, just to get it out the way, maybe get some answers and just start. I feel like I'm so delayed in life, especially these last few years where I'm at the age of 25. Still haven't been able to knock it on the head of what exactly is going on up in my brain sometimes, and with the simplest things. So the interview is going to be like 50 minutes. It's on Friday at 12:30 PM. I'm so scared that they're just gonna be like, you haven't got anything, you're just a dick. Like the conversations I've had with people just being like, oh yeah, I have those as well. But what I've experienced is the negative effects of it, of just the socializing, the tiredness, like just sitting still all day, but your brain's going, you can't sleep at night. It's exhausting. I'm so tired. But like, not physically tired, not mentally tired. It's like tired of myself and like the things that I do. The other day I had a chill day. I had anything I wanted to do. I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings, I wanted to paint my wardrobe, all fun activities. I wanted to do film a video, I wanted to film a TikTok, and I wanted to clean up my room. Like, these are 5 things I really wanted to do, and I end up doing 10 minutes of Lord of the Rings, then come up here and paint my wardrobe. It's actually, no, I want to go watch Lord of the Rings. Actually, no, I want to film a video. Oh, my room's not tidy, but at the same time I'm painting the wardrobe now. And I just went from all 5 things, and it genuinely just worn me out, and I didn't do anything. I ruined my whole day because I couldn't settle on one of, and that was meant to be a chill day for myself. I feel like tomorrow might be the start of my life. I went ahead of an appointment, and it went really well, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to argue something that you haven't got ADHD.
And a huge one was they were asking how it affects everyday life. Like, that is the big one for me, and a lot of it was affecting my job. It was affecting my YouTube, because obviously I had my hyperfixation with YouTube, and when that ran out and I went to streaming, I was streaming, and yes, my streams are very hyperactive, I'm all over the place, and streamers do tend to find it hard to stay on track and read chat, but mine was really struggling. Like, I couldn't operate my stream deck whilst trying to read the chat. I would lose my flow. It was really exhausting to stream. Like, streaming is exhausting anyway, but I was at the point of where I couldn't read chat. I couldn't, it was really bad. I then hyperfixated on streaming and completely forgot about my YouTube. So it was very hard that I would just go in and, like, as soon as a little bit of love goes, it just goes completely. And I couldn't really concentrate on editing and stuff. Sometimes I would be locked in and I could stare at a screen for 4 hours and edit and forget about everything else, and other times I just couldn't get the rhythm going, and it was every day. I just couldn't get myself going. It was overwhelming. Socially, it was overwhelming and exhausting. So yeah, it was like work and relationships. And then he took a look at my tattoos, and he was like, oh, that kind of shows you have a bit of ADHD now. You didn't really think those through, did you? Why is it they're all over the place?
Why are they all over the place? That was my question. That was my question, Bakey.
It's too late now. I gotta like him.
This feels like one of those situations where it would have been really beneficial to have somebody stop you.
Yeah, a bit impulsive on that. And I remember reading the notes and there was like blue dyed hair. And I was like, what's that? He actually even wrote down blue dyed hair. I was like, what? This is actually quite funny. So in the interview, you had to bring your ID and show it to the camera. I joined the call and he's like, have you got your ID? Forgot my ID, didn't I? The one thing I had to bloody bring. Oh, I forgot. So I ran upstairs, got my ID, and now I was watching it back and you just see him just look into my room, and obviously he's looking at all of the purchases I've made, and like he's just thinking, yeah, that makes sense. Just one look into my office of just piles of stuff, of hobbies and interests and stuff, just a mess. So yeah, I got to the end of the interview and he said, yep, you've got ADHD, and I got off the interview and I genuinely just started crying. Like the fact to have, I didn't know how to feel, the fact to have official diagnosis after all the years of umming and ahhing just melted me. It just, like, it was insane. Everything suddenly made so much sense. I started thinking back like, oh my god, how different things would have been, but also at the same time, it's a massive reason of what I am. Like, he said to me at the end, he goes, I know this could be overwhelming, but at the same time, like, ADHD causes your creative brain, your hyperfixation brain, like, your YouTube wouldn't be where it was if you didn't have it. You might have not forgot about everything else and put everything into one thing. And like, I told my friends, they were like, oh, no surprise. My brother was like, yep, that makes sense. And I told my sister, and then eventually I told my mum. I was always a bit scared to tell my mum because I think she just thought I was just sort of me, in a way. But she's seen the way I have been now after diagnosed and just sort of understands it so much more and says, oh yeah. So everyone's been really supportive and it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, here we are now to this day. I've tried a little bit of medication and different things, but we are still working on that and making sure it's the right one and stuff. And I did try some, and the beautiful thing of it is that I actually, like, I took it and I was still me. Like, I was so scared of, like, whams if it changes me and this bit is just me ADHD and it isn't actually me. But no, I'm still hyper, I'm still all over the place, I'm still chaotic, I'm still passionate and everything about everything, but it's just that now it allows me to focus on one thing and get that thing done and then move on. Like, I explained to my friends, and this was the weirdest thing, and if you don't have ADHD you probably won't understand this, but the first day I tried some meds and I went to go fill up a glass of water, and I said, I just went to fill up a glass of water, and I just filled up a glass of water and then I came back. And that's just like, it's so hard to explain, but like, I just focused on getting some water and it just felt normal. And it's the weirdest thing because normally I'd go and get some water and I do this and I go over there and I make a mess here and I spill it, or I'm filling the water and I'm thinking about something else and it's overspilling. Like, it doesn't make sense, but I could just focus on the water. I could see the water go down. Whereas before, it always felt blurred and out of focus, and that was in focus. Like, I think that's the best way of explaining it. Like, it's like everything's out of focus. It's all blurry. It's like a camera can't focus on one thing. I think that's the best thing. If you're moving a camera around too fast, it can't do it. That's kind of how I felt. So yeah, I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah, here we are. That's me. That's the video. I definitely missed out on some things that I wanted to talk about, but here I am, and I'm diagnosed now. If you have any questions about the journey, about me, about getting diagnosed, about certain things, anything really ADHD wise, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be doing an ADHD Q&A. I especially want to do that just because if there's things I missed out in this video, I can then say in the next one. Oh my god. I'm not gonna cry again. I've cried like too many times when I think about it too much, and like the last 2 weeks has been a lot. But yeah. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you all so much. I'm so sorry for the lack of videos. These last 2 months have been very all over the place with like waiting lists and making sure I get it right and sending off forms and whatnot. I've been streaming a lot. I've actually started up an Etsy shop and a Redbubble account of where I do Bakey makes. So I have Bakey plays where I do my streaming, BakeyFilms where I do me YouTube. And now I have Bakey Makes, which is my art hyperfixation at the moment. I've got all the paints, I've got all the canvases, and I'm selling one-of-a-kind paintings. I already sold this one. I've got this one on sale at the moment. This is sort of my style, red, black and white, and it's like sketchy and like grungy horror sort of gothic vibes. So yeah, go check out Bakey Makes. I'll leave them in the description down below. The canvases are one of a kind. I only make one and sell them. They're only available in the UK because I'm scared I'm gonna lose them and stuff. But if you want prints, if you want postcards, stickers, clocks, pillow, they are on Redbubble, and they're as many as you want, and they are worldwide. So yeah, support Bakey Makes if you want a bit of my art. So yeah, Etsy is the canvas, one of a kind, UK only, and Redbubble is just the prints in general. But that is my hyperfixation at the moment. I did the wardrobe over there. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try and get it. Look at my wardrobe. I painted it. This is like the Bakey Make style. And also, I wrote the Chamber of Secrets has been opened in Elvish because I hyperfixated on Lord of the Rings for a bit. But yeah, here we are, officially diagnosed, officially here, officially journey and documented. I did announce it on my Twitter 2 weeks ago when I got diagnosed, and on my Instagram and stuff, but here's a YouTube video with some extra clips and extra bits of talking about it and stuff. So yeah, I love you all. Thank you for supporting me. I'll be doing a Q&A video, so leave those questions down below. And yeah, I love you all so much, and here's to my diagnosis. And the people saying congratulations, I never understood, but I guess congratulations. Yeah, I love you. Bye.